Hey drummers, check out the brand new Pearl Signature Eric Singer snare drum. Eric's been the legendary drummer with the band Kiss for many years. He's an incredible rock drummer, one of the greatest showmen of all time, and Kiss, of course, is one of the most legendary bands that have been around for approximately 45 to 50 years. On Eric Singer's snare drum, they come standard equipment with his brand new Attack Eric Singer snare drum heads. Now these heads come with his signature, and they're also made with this high carbon black steel hoop which holds the head firmly in place. Now this head is called a tone ridge, and I was going to show you that the analogy of a tone ridge, if you imagine this being a bucket of water, if you drop the pebble in the middle of the bucket, imagine the ripples being sound waves. As they travel toward the edge of the head, it's actually a split level head. And the tone ridge heads naturally take out just the right amount of overtones. And I'll show you what I mean. Listen to how good this head sounds, just wide open, without any type of internal or external muffling. Now this is like a really industrial 2-ply medium head, and the snare side head is a medium, which a lot of drummers like the thin, but Eric likes the medium head because it gives it a lot fatter rock type sound. And the tone ridge heads, like all Attack drum heads, are made with what's called Accu-Form technology. Now if you look at this head that sits on a drum, it's kind of like a force fit. Like a lot of heads are a force fit. And this tone ridge, you can see now that this center is at one height, and around the edge it's slightly lower. And that naturally, without any type of touching the head on the top or bottom, takes out the unwanted overtones. Now as far as fitting on the actual bearing edge of any drum shell, the reason Attack are superior heads than other brands is we offer what's called Accu-Form technology. Now this is a head that's actually been on this drum, and if you look, this head fits perfect. I mean, this is like a perfect fit, and the Accu-Form actually allows the drum head to stretch and to form fit onto the bearing edge. And when you take the head off, you can see it has a little higher collar, and regardless of what type of drum manufacturer that you're using, or even old vintage drums, the Attack heads initially fit a little tight and they kind of teeter-totter, but once you tighten them up, the Accu-Form technology allows the head to fit perfectly on any bearing edge, which gives you a better sound, more resonance, more bottom end, and longer life for the head. Now I'm going to show you this tone ridge. You can see the split level head here. Now the tone ridge on a tom-tom head, it has like kind of a nice decay to it, like almost like a deep floor tom. It has a lot of bottom end, and it kind of adds like a little extra sound. And this is something that's unique to the Attack drum head line. The other thing is the box that the Attack drum heads come in has won all kinds of awards. This is just a beautiful piece of artwork to hang on your showroom floor or on the wall or in your drum department, and it has all the specifications and everything you need to know about the head. And all Attack drum heads are made in a steel hoop, regardless of whether they're the Eric Singer with the black carbon steel or just a regular Attack head made with a steel locking collar. Attack heads are guaranteed not to pull out of the hoop for the life of the head. So here's Eric Singer's signature, his actual signature written on a drum head. We have 59 of these heads in stock. When they're gone, they're gone. So any dealer that could buy 12 batter side heads and 12 snare side heads will receive one of Eric Singer's original signatures right on the head. You can hang it on the wall in your store or maybe in your music room at home. But this is truly a collector's piece because there's only 59 of them, and this is something that we don't plan to repeat. The other thing is All of the proceeds that we collect in profits on Eric Singer's signature heads, top and bottom, are going to be donated to the Wounded Veteran Hospital in Cleveland, Ohio. And that's actually, that's Eric's hometown, so we thought we would keep it local to him. And I know that Eric has plans with his actual signature snare drum from Pearl to donate his proceeds of whatever is sold in his, whatever he gets in commission, to like a special nonprofit organization. I believe he was talking about a school in his area where he lives in California. So the thing to know about the attack heads is they're professional quality. We have a complete line of drum heads for every type of use, for every drummer. And the Pearl company is now using attack drum heads on Eric's snare drum around the world, as this is like standard equipment. When you buy Eric's snare drum, you get the attack heads. That's the way they come. And we're happy to partner up with Pearl and run this special promotion for the consumers and for the dealers. So thanks for your support. Have a great day. Hey gang, I wanted to show my fellow drummer friends some of the cool things and different characteristics that Attack has that none of the other drum head companies offer. For the first thing is we offer the Terry Bozzio. This is actually a DuPont Mylar S film, which is made in the USA and fabricated in Taiwan. Our coating is also made in the USA, and the best way to describe this head is dark. This is a Terry Bozzio 1-ply 1000 gauge DuPont Mylar S film compared to the Attack Dynaflex in the same 1000 gauge, which is just a little different film. But listen to the difference in brightness and darkness. And then in a 2-ply head, most of the drummers like our Tone Ridge series. I've already described the Tone Ridge, how it's a 2-ply. It has the Tone Ridge, which takes out the right amount of unwanted overtones. So this head is like really great for a rock head. It's the new head that Eric Singer is using on his signature snare drum. And that's just like, that's a 12-inch tom. I mean, if you got into like a 16 or 18 floor, I mean, the tone is so low and it just has a sound all its own, unlike any other manufacturer. And I just wanted to mention that like a 1-ply Attack, like this is a 12, it has a thin skin bottom, which is a thinner ply, in a medium 1000 gauge. So it's a 750 bottom and a 1000 gauge top. Great sound, professional quality. In a 14-inch, this head only lists for $13. So if you got it for, I mean, if I stretched it and said half price, I mean, $6.50 for a 14-inch head is like unheard of. I've been in this business now for 41 years. There are no name brand drum companies making 1000 gauge single ply heads for $6.50 to the consumer. So that's the $13 retail head. Bozzio in dark, 2-ply with the Tone Ridge. Now the Bozzio head, unlike the other heads, I wanted you to see that the fit is not really like an Accu-Form. This thing is actually pre-formed. This is a patented, similar to one of the other brands that recently come out with this idea. I mean, the head will actually spin on a shell, and this hasn't even been cut down with the bearing edge yet. So it actually offers a perfect fit. It tunes the head straight up to the perfect pitch. It withstands higher tension. All Attack heads come with the steel locking collar that's guaranteed not to pull out for life. This head could withstand extreme tension, even like for marching drummers. And Terry has said many times that these heads, they tune up, he pitches them really high, he plays like a lot of melodic melodies and tones, and they stay in pitch, and from gig to gig, he only has to make minor changes, if any, because they just flat out stay in tune. They don't really have the glue-in type collar, which a lot of times you hear that cracking sound where the head's actually starting to pull out of the hoop. where you don't really hear that. They stretch, they get in tune, and they stay in tune. Now in Terry Bozzio, there's like some bass drum heads that just came out recently, and if you look, the underring of this type of head, which we call a no overtone, this is a one-ply no overtone. They come encoded in clear from 18 through 28 inch. This really short no overtone underply offers a significant more resonance than all of our other bass drum heads. Now if you're a power rock player or someone that wants like a really good funk sounding head or something in the studio, this no overtone is just a regular attack no overtone. And the collar and the thickness of this underply is probably more than double, maybe 3 times what Terry's is. So if you want like a really good punch and a thud, this would actually make your drum head on your bass drum, you know, really dampen and sound extremely powerful and loud, and it won't have a lot of tone to it. It'll just have like a really good powerful punch. So continuing on, okay, now I'd like to show you one of our cool bottom side heads. This may not look like much on a camera, but this is what's called a thin skin. This head is actually 188 microns, which actually makes it approximately 750 gauge. These are great bottom heads. We make them encoded in clear. If you're looking for a really thin head, like for a timbali top side, something that's like really resonant, it's not really like a snare side film. It's a bottom head that really opens the sound. And countless drummers have told me that when you use attack top and bottom together, the sound is significantly louder and more open than if you just use the attack on the top and whatever you have on the bottom. Brand new are the Marina Bozzio heads. Check out, these are snare side heads. She makes a batter head, which I have right here, and this is the same basic design as the Terry Bozzio head, which has a bottom dot coated over top with her name, and it's attack one-ply medium. This is made out of Mylar, DuPont S-film from the USA. The dot is Mylar, it has her name on it. So this is the top, but you could go with this bottom head where your snares lay across here, and the rest of the head is coated. So we'll have these at the Gear Fest and at all the trade shows, which will be NAMM, Summer NAMM, Winter NAMM, the Frankfurt Music Fair, the MDA convention, and all the different shows that are to come, even in Beijing and in Guangzhou at the China Music Fairs. We'll have samples of these. Now this bottom head has a completely different sound. It has a dry sound. It kind of makes the snares sound like gut. But if you're looking for like a really powerful rock sound with a controlled no overtone, this is like a really cool one-of-a-kind head that nobody else makes. So these are brand new, and Marina Bozzio, by the way, she's in an all-female band, which is the #1 band in Japan, and she's also the #1 drummer in Japan, and she's got videos out that are totally amazing. The double bass drum work that she does and the power playing is just something that you really have to see. Check out Marina Bozzio or Marina B if you go to do a Google search. Now, this head here is a 2-ply heavy, which is actually called a blast beat. And Marina's heads are blast beat because the snare side heads are unique in design and sound. But this head is just flat out probably the thickest drum head made. It's a 2-ply head of 250 plus 250 microns, which is actually 2,000 gauge film thickness of a 2-ply, 1,000 plus 1,000. And these little rainbows that you might see on the bottom, a lot of people think that most of the heads that have the rainbows in them have some type of oil or some type of chemicals, but it's actually an optical illusion. The rainbow effect is actually just the 2-plies stuck together. So we also make what's similar to the blast beat in what's called a 2-ply medium thin. And the 2-ply medium thin is just a lot louder 2-ply head. It has a controlled overtone, it's extremely durable, and it was one of the heads that Tommy Wells designed before he passed away, who was probably one of the most recorded artists in Nashville, who made hundreds and thousands of recordings. So to end this video, I wanted to show you again that this is the brand new Pearl signature snare drum, and this drum comes with standard equipment with an attack 2-ply with a tone ridge with Eric Singer's signature in green. And the bottom is actually a medium snare side head, which most people go with their thinner snare side head, but he likes the medium because it has like a lot fatter rock sound, and his signature is in green once again. But check this out. The heads that Pearl is using on their snare drum, and the heads that we're now selling of Eric Singer, besides them having his name on the heads, we have 59 drum heads that Eric Singer actually hand signed. There's only going to be, there's 60 of them, so one is on a prototype in my office, and the other 59 are going to be available to dealers. Every dealer that buys 12 top heads and 12 bottom heads will receive one of Eric Singer's hand-signed heads that you could hang on your wall at home or in your basement or in your music room. And this is truly a collector's item. This will never be available again. And these are great heads even if you wanted to use them. And as you could see, like the head on the edge is black. These are actually black carbon steel. So these are the strongest 2-ply heads that we make as far as durability and as far as the strength. And the tuck on all attack heads are fairly tight. So like on a 2-ply head, you know, one of the things that we've been able to control is all of our 2-ply heads. If you look closely at the bottom side of any 2-ply head, you'll see this rainbow effect is almost tucked so tight that you really can't even see much of a gap in the plies. And this is what's called the barometric pressure. And the more you control the barometric pressure, the tighter and the more consistent the sound will be. So most drummers know from playing 2-ply heads that you might get one batch that sounds pretty good, and the next batch may not sound quite as good. Like maybe they're, you know, you just can't get the right tone out of them, or you can't get them to punch, or the 12 doesn't really tune up with the 13 or vice versa. But when you control the barometric pressure like we've been able to do, and we've been making drum heads now for 23 years. So these are actually, you know, some of our newer heads, but the prices are considerably cheaper than anything on the market. They come in an award-winning box. This box actually won an award out of 200 different box manufacturers the year that we produced it. It won the Box of the Year award of design from 200 different box manufacturers. They submitted this to a company called Texaco. So the reason I'm saying that is if you're a drummer or a guy behind the counter and you want something that looks really nice in your store, these are really attractive to the eye, and not only for a young person, but for a drummer or a person of any age. Now the one thing I didn't mention was we've come out with this, which we call tone putty. And this tone putty is just like a little piece of gel. It's washable. They come 5 in a package in a little bag like this in Canon. There's 5 tone putties in a bag, and when you put them on the head, they stick, and when you play on the head, they don't bounce off. They stay on the head, and if they get dusty or dirty, you just wash them and stick them back on. And this is actually, you know, a great way, and probably one of the best ways if you want to take out just a tiny bit of overtones out of your drum head. So the last thing is, like all bass drum heads come with a free sticker, and all of our heads are inside our Universal Percussion catalog, and we have over 17,000 items now in stock. www.universalpercussion.com. If you're interested in attack heads only, you could go to www.attack_drumheads.com, and you can not only see the complete line of heads, you'll see all the testimonials, a lot of video footage, and things that, you know, some of the best drummers in the world have to say, like Charlie Adams and Eric Singer and Hillary Jones. You know, some of the greatest players have said things that they like about their attack heads that have been with us for years and years. So I hope this is of interest. Happy drumming, and don't quit playing.